Welcome back, and for now, let's first of all revisit our earlier story where NMS is conducting actually a public engagement with stakeholders and also Kenyans in Embakasi Central Constituency in matters buildings and other structures. Some of the good news earlier is that approvals will be taking a record 7 days. Nancy Okware is on standby to bring us the latest.
Well, thank you so much, Ben Troy Njue, back in studio. Indeed, the forum is ongoing right here. It has been ongoing since 10 a.m. Of course, members of the public came in here ready to get information from the NMS, among other stakeholders, on what is required before a building is actually constructed. And of course, without wasting much time, we would like to get more information and details on what actually these members of the public are being engaged on. Hence, we are going to be speaking to Moses Nyakiongora, who is an advisor on construction and built environment in the NMS. Thank you so much for speaking to us. You are live on KBC Channel 1. Perhaps as we start, what's the importance of this forum today?
Thank you very much, madam. Today is a very important day to us because it's like public participation. We have had issues where sometimes we come and enforce something without public participation. It's not something so new, but we have thought as NMS we need also to have a face of humanity. We know during this COVID time for the last 1.5 years or 2 years, enforcement has not been so regular, and people have taken advantage, as you have heard here. Some developers who are saying they build over weekends, holidays, and at night. And we have those kind of buildings which have come up. They have no approvals. And those who have approvals, they have approvals for something else, but what is on the ground is not what is approved. So we want to start an exercise of inspection and audit of all buildings in Nairobi to ensure that they comply. So we didn't want to get these people by ambush. We have to psych them and ready them. If they can correct before we reach there, it will be well and good. First, when you build something that is not approved, you are not doing even yourself a favor, because there are some regulations. There are buildings which are allowed in certain areas. There is everything that you lose if you don't comply. There is zoning. There are buildings which are allowed, like commercial in certain areas. We had when we were opening the seminar, there are people who build in residential areas, things that are not allowed, like petrol stations, maybe abattoirs, those kind of things which need to be isolated and be built somewhere. So we found from various places that we have had people who have been rogue. We have developers who have gone rogue for the last 1.5 years. They have done illegal things. They have done unacceptable things. First, when you build something that is not allowed, it is even a danger to the public and to yourself. We are not new to seeing buildings collapsing. They have been there in a big way. And most of the buildings that collapse or see collapsing are those ones that are not approved. So the inspection we want to carry out, as I said, we don't want to get these people by surprise. We want to say them that we are coming as a team. It's not an individual person. We are coming as NMS to check whether you complied with what was approved. If it's not approved, and it meets the standards, we are not saying anything, because it is the law you have broken. Our basic work, or the law as it is, if you have done something that is not approved by the planning development control, is supposed to be demolished at your own cost. That's the basic thing. But last time, when something like this happened, the counter assembly was lenient enough to enact a law that allowed what we call regularization, where if your building meets all the standards, all the requirements, then you could apply for regularization. But there are buildings which have gone even beyond the bylaws. Like after 5 floors, you are supposed to have a lift. You see in Eastlands, Donham area and those kind of places, I've seen buildings that go to 10 floors, 11 floors without a lift. That one is not acceptable, and the law has not changed. So if we go there and maybe agree with the owner, there are two things. You can either demolish that building to 5 floors or introduce a lift or something that can take you up, the disabled and other people. It's not for nothing that these laws are there. They are not cosmetic. They have been reasoned by people who are conversant in this, and that's the minimum requirements. So generally, this was to synthesize the public. That's why we have public participation. We shall do another one tomorrow at Mukuru and another one in Kasarani on Friday. So that when we start the exercise, people are aware what we are doing, and we are doing it in good faith, because as you heard, Nairobi is very important to this country and to East Africa and the world at large. We are headquarters of many institutions. We have many embassies. We don't want to be left behind where we have a forest of unapproved structures. We must have a plan which is followed for the next 30 years. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Yes, indeed, we've been speaking to Moses Nyakiongora, who is the advisor on construction and built environment under the NMS. He says that indeed it is an exercise that will be ongoing tomorrow. The exercise will be at Mukuru, and of course it will culminate in Kasarani, where members of the public will be given an opportunity to ask any question that they may have before the officials actually get on the ground to ensure that they enforce, just to ensure that the buildings that come up in these NMS are actually up to standard, so as to minimize the accidents that have been witnessed in the recent past due to buildings that are substandard. Hence, Trenjue, that's all we have from this end. So I hand it back to you in studio.